Good afternoon, everyone. I saw something that was shocking. I mean, shock you to the core. How much more do we have to put up with this? How much shock do we need before we make a move? I mean, I'm specifically talking to the black and brown people of this country and worldwide, really, because this affects everybody. When are we going to stop living among these monsters? Remember, they say dinosaurs used to run the earth. They're not here anymore. Well, we are living among dinosaurs because dinosaurs, what do? They overpower and destroy everything. If we had kept having dinosaurs, I'm just going by what they say. They had fossils and all that stuff. But if these dinosaurs kept mating and having more dinosaurs and roaming the earth, how long could that humans can live with dinosaurs? We can't live with these dinosaurs. Listen to this shocking
Close.
information.
But that's not what happened. Less than 2 weeks later, data surfaced showing that CDC would now fund a new study on the hepatitis B vaccine. But get this, not in the United States, but in Guinea-Bissau, a country where nearly 1 in 5 adults is infected with hepatitis B. So let's be very clear about what this means, okay? In the US, where the vaccine has already proven effective, policy was rolled back based on theoretical concerns. But in Africa, where the disease burden is exponentially higher, the response wasn't expanded protection, it was experimentation.
Mm.
In essence, the vaccine was paused at home and is now being tested abroad.
Mm-hmm.
And this is where alarm bells started ringing for public health experts almost instantly. The issue wasn't just that a study was being proposed, it was where, how, and on whom. First, this trial didn't involve an experimental vaccine. The hepatitis B vaccine has been used for decades. Its safety profile is well established. Its effectiveness is beyond dispute, which means this wasn't a case of science catching up to uncertainty. It was science relitigating settled knowledge and doing so on the bodies of African newborns. Second, the ethical logic just didn't add up. If concerns about the vaccine were serious enough to overturn U.S. policy, then the ethical response would be to pause its use while those concerns were investigated. But instead, the opposite happened. The vaccine was scaled back at home and scrutinized abroad. That reversal alone set off red flags because it said that African babies were being used to answer questions that American institutions were no longer willing to test on American children. Third, who was administering the study? This trial was not being led or influenced by Guinea-Bissau's own public health institutions.
That just reminds me, when she said no longer admit that will be used on American children. Do you understand why these so-called black mangas, they think that most of these black mangas are bipolar. All they care about is themselves and their children, just like the others do. Okay? And a lot of them don't believe in vaccines, but they okay with the vaccine trials being done on other black and brown children, long as it's not being done on them. And when I start hearing my daughter, she's a Trump supporter, was talking against vaccinations, I'm like, and you got all your shots. Your kids got their shots. Now all of a sudden, you against vaccinations? What's going on? Just because somebody got in your head? And see, this is what I'm saying. She didn't graduate. She went to city schools. And by the end of the 80s, schools start treating kids like property. And this is what's happening.
It was being by Danish researchers affiliated with the Bandem Health Project, a foreign research group that has operated in Guinea-Bissau for decades. Now, to be clear, international research collaboration is not inherently wrong, okay? But history matters and power dynamics matter. Because when foreign researchers design, control, and administer trials in low-income countries, especially trials involving newborns, the question of whose interests are truly being served becomes unavoidable. In this case, the study was designed outside the country, funded by a foreign government, led by foreign scientists, and approved in a setting where local institutions have far less reach to push back.
All right, just
that imbalance is not incidental. It's structural. And critics were quick to point out that this wasn't the first time the Bandem Health Project had drawn controversy for studies questioning the effect of widely accepted vaccines, often in African populations, not European ones. So again, the past is itself. If these questions about vaccine timing and broader health effects are so important, why aren't they being tested in Denmark? Why not in the United States? Why not in countries where researchers themselves live, vote, and raise their children? Instead, the burden of uncertainty, once again, is being placed on African bodies. And lastly, experts pointed out that the study design violated a basic principle of medical ethics. You do not withhold proven life-saving intervention from a control group, especially not newborns, especially not in a high-risk population, and especially not with the benefit of the...
Isn't that what they did in Tuskegee? They have laws here in America that they can't do that. But we don't know. These people honey, they don't care about laws and regulations. They'll make them, but they don't mean they're going to abide by them. And that's exactly what they did in Tuskegee with the syphilis. We are living among dinosaurs.
Where power decides what's acceptable, and where people with the most to lose have the least to say. That's why this story didn't stay contained in academic circles. It spilled into the lake because it raised the questions science has never fully answered. Who gets protected and who gets studied? Now, before we go any further, I want to do something important here. Let's go directly to the Bandem Health Project's own website. I want you to hear the justification for yourself. And some of the red flags we've been discussing are exaggerated or exactly on point. Thanks to funding from the Punnett Square Foundation, the Bluebell Foundation, and the U.S. Center for Disease Control and Prevention, CDC, researchers at the Bandem Health Project are now able to initiate a randomized control trial of the hepatitis B vaccine at birth in Guinea-Bissau. There is a unique window of opportunity because the Guinean Ministry of Health has decided to implement a universal hepatitis vaccine policy for newborns starting in 2027-28. Until then, the team will randomize newborns to receive a WHO-approved hepatitis B vaccine at birth, the future policy, or no hepatitis B vaccine at birth, the current policy. All children will receive the currently recommended BCG and OPV irrespective of allocation. The trial will enroll participants until hepatitis B vaccine is to be implemented in the national vaccination program in Guinea. By that time, enrollment will end, and Bendham Health Project will assist implementation of the new policy and can do follow-up of the cohort for a total of 5 years. Primary outcome is overall mortality.
Okay, we see here what's going on. Please look this up. Please stay informed. We have to end this before it goes any further. Thank you for listening. Please leave a like and a comment. I want to know what you think.